Okay, then let me put this stream up above on this big screen up here. Incredible. I've got some stuff happening off screen too. So there's a lot that you won't see in the process of me making this video. I am currently looking at Hope Lodge, American Cancer Society, 718 Union Avenue. And I'm testing out a couple of modeling mode features directly inside of Unreal Engine. I'm using the Snapping Helper 3D plugin to help me gray box over the top of photogrammetry. Photogrammetry is basically like LiDAR, really satellite data with extrusions. So 3D map imagery that I'm using to get the silhouette of these buildings and the footprint and the height. I'll show you what that looks like real quick. We're in Unreal Engine 5.5, and I think I will stick with 5.5 instead of trying to upgrade to 5.6 with this project, because I think most plugins, old and new, will be compatible with 5.5, but not everything will be compatible or upgraded to 5.6. Also, many new plugins are not compatible with 5.4, so that's why we're using this. If I invert this, you can see the photogrammetry pop up here, and we're gray boxing and building geometry around the photogrammetry, and then using Google Earth or Google's Street View, as you can see here, as a reference to be able to see some of the details and materials. And right, typically what I would normally do is bring an outline of the photogrammetry into SketchUp, and then I would build everything in SketchUp because it's so much easier to do subdivisions and I don't know what this type of modeling is called, but using lines and math and division, just math to create the geometry. SketchUp is really good with creating mathematical spatial extrusions and equations. But I've got a couple of plugins that are going to help me, and I'm trying to stick to natively doing this in Unreal Engine. I usually have 45-degree snapping on, unless I need to do some weird building corners. And then I usually have the snapping in the world view, in the world coordinate system, or local coordinate system. So I copy and paste this wall to create its 90-degree angle. And then I'm going to use Alt and duplicate it. And then we'll put this one here. Yeah. And if I want to go ahead and start actually modeling out this building, I will have to convert. Let's see. Is that pretty much equal? It's really hard to tell what's happening, because I want to say it's actually a 90-degree angle then. So yeah, I think it is a 90-degree angle. So let's copy and paste this, rotate it. Yeah, it probably is a 90-degree angle. And then it's a 90-degree off of this wall. So really I can just take this and copy it over and put it right here. Let's see what that looks like. Fuck, that's pretty damn close. It's pretty damn close. We're just gonna eyeball it. I know you can't see exactly what I got going on here, but at least you can't see what I'm looking at on my second screen, which is okay. I just want to showcase how I'm modeling this building. Again, this is 718 Union Avenue if you want to go to Google Street View and take a look. I like that. I think I'm pretty satisfied with how that is turning, how that's looking. So what I'll do is just, whoops. is just scale this. This is why the snapping helper 3D plugin, like this is where this plugin really shines. I'm going to create some overlap, and then we're going to take these three, go into modeling mode, and we will go into my favorites and do a convert these to a static mesh. It's going to create some unnecessary meshes. We can delete those meshes with the cleanup tool later. Okay, now I will go into polygroup edit and just adjust each of these. Let's see, how do I want to do this? I guess it kind of doesn't matter what the inside looks like, but I kind of want it to be a little bit perfect. So let's do that. Set, let's grab these edges, and then let's see if I can get this right on this corner. Let's accept it for now. Polygroup, let's bring this out a little more. And then, so SketchUp, this probably would have been 10 times faster to do it in SketchUp, but I really want to learn how I can accomplish this here. So just testing a couple things to see what this process is really going to be like. Trying to think about how I would do that. How would I do that to get it to just match perfectly? It honestly doesn't matter. So there's a quicker way of doing all this. I'm not trying to do it the quick way. This is just a learning process for me to kind of figure out how to use Unreal Engine's built-in modeling tool to make this happen. I think I am going to extrude this out. And what we would normally have to find is the overlap. So, excuse me while I think. I'm going to try this. Not quite. We can keep it how it is. It doesn't have to be perfect. We're only going to see it from the outside. And the reason I'm hung up on like something as simple as that is because in SketchUp, there's an easy way to pin movements to corners and to get that perfect alignment, which isn't as necessary for something like this project that I'm working on with Memphis Metas. But what I'll do with that is we're going to take this and go into 3D snapping helper, grab the bottom, and just move it down like so. And then save. I always save frequently because we never know when something could just go wrong. Things break. What do I want to do? I want to grab this and I want to rotate it duplicate it, rotate it, and then put it right here. Let me check out what the other side of this building looks like, though. It does come to a stopping point, so I think that's perfect. I'm going to convert that. And then I'll use the polygroup tool, and we'll just select all the faces. And we'll do a outset, I think. No. Push pull. Polygroup edit. Grab everything. Push pull. There it is. And actually, I only want to grab these three faces. And there we go. Just barely. A little detail, probably way too much. Let's go check. Yeah, try it again. There we go. Grab the top, and I'm going to do a little bit of an inset on the top. What are we looking at here? It's already inset a little bit. So I can actually just pull this up there. And then here, I will do a tiny push pull bottom. Just a little bit. Except, I'm going to go back into 3D. Actually, we can just move this down a hair. Tiny detail. It will make a lot of difference. We're not trying to make it perfect. Just having a little fun. I don't think I'm going to put a whole bunch of detail on the front of this yet. There are a couple of things that I want to do, though, to get some texture. And we're probably going to use an existing brick material. Let's check out the other side of this. And let's flip that photogrammetry. Let's invert photogrammetry. I'm going to lock this and grab another details panel. So window, details number 2. This one is going to have our photogrammetry locked in. That way I can do a quick invert. And from here, I can see where I need that awning to go. So go back to 3D tool. I'm gonna copy and paste and rotate it 90 degrees, and then just move it down into place. And then scale it. Actually, let me move it. Let's invert that photogrammetry again real quick. Let's move this here. Okay. Just gonna bring this down and scale it appropriately. And it's going to be very tiny. But what I would do is I'm going to go to modeling and convert this so I can make a quick adjustment. Accept. And then polygroup. We're going to grab this front face and just move it down a hair. It has a little slight slant to it. Surrounding this, we have a brick path with a gate. So let's go back into 3D view. Let's copy this over. And I want to say it's going to sit right on the outside of our awning, just by like a hair. Let's make it smaller. And then we're going to go from the bottom. We're going to unstretch it. Let's put it about right there. It's a little bit bigger. I'm going to copy it to here and stretch it downward to use it as a reference. So now I can know how far I need to pull this out. Yeah, that'll work. Leave that. Copy paste from this pivot point, rotate it, and stretch it into the wall. Well, no, not into the wall. We'd have to have a gate over here somewhere. So I'll say about right there. Okay. What I'll do with this is we're going to go into modeling mode and union. 3D. Let's copy paste, and then this one. Let's move it up. This will have a little one top layer. It's probably so far off, actually. Let's go into, I don't want to do this. Actually, yeah, okay. That'd be easy. Let's figure out what the rotation on this thing is. Location, rotation, scale is 99. Wow. All right, so let's edit the pivot of this. Modeling. Edit pivot. Accept. Oops, not pivot. Edit. Isn't it? Edit pivot. Where? Oh, okay. I need to convert this first. And then edit the pivot. Yeah. Okay. I see what we did there. Now let's move it out. So here, and then we can go into polygroup edit and just push this against the wall. All right. That makes sense. All right. So it's weird because Unreal Engine, like you can find some tutorials on YouTube and how to use the modeling tools built in, but there's a lot of features that a lot of people just don't know about or how to use. And for most of what you're doing on in Unreal Engine, it's custom content. It's not real world assets. So the problem with a lot of tutorials on YouTube is they teach you under the assumption that you're going to be using meters and some sort of a grid as your reference to building models and gray boxing or level design, which, you know, most of them is like a meter by meter grid, and you're snapping to consistent shapes or consistent like width lengths, right? With this, it's like we can't do that here because every building in Memphis is different and they're all shaped weirdly. What the hell is happening? Every building in Memphis is kind of oriented, like by various varying degrees apart from each other, right? In a typical video game design, you're going to have a lot of consistency with building faces being oriented in certain directions and being designed in certain constraints. I don't know why we crashed. I think it has something to do with Cesium. I didn't look. And we are streaming to through OBS. So let's see if any of our changes actually stuck or if we have to do that again. It's possible we're gonna have to what we just did. Maybe let's see what's unloaded here. Let's load that in or whatever it is. I don't know what we just loaded in, but I think it's something important. Now, let's see. There's no static mesh for these because they didn't save. Ain't that a motherfucking bitch? So we're going to delete those and just redo it. Hey, y'all, sometimes this shit happens. And it's all good. We don't get angry. We learn. Let's see, let's turn this off. Don't quite need it yet. All right, so let's repeat that process quickly. $45 turned on. $45. Let's go, man. Something like this. And something like this. Okay, and then I'm going to take this one, copy paste, rotate it there, back, and let's eyeball to see exactly how far back that is to be. Probably too far. Just a hair, and they go back into my Google view, my Google Street view. And let's compare that. Something's pretty deep in there. So back there some more. I'd say that's good enough right there. We're going to stick with that right there. I'm going to save right now. Okay, and then we've got to trim that downward. So, well, in our 3D view, let's just bring it down to about there. We're good with that. Let's go to modeling mode and let's do a conversion of all of these meshes and then Control-Shift-S to save those meshes. And then we will go to polygroup edit after we've done our conversion and just do a quick move. Accept. And I do have another way that I can do this to get the same effect I would in SketchUp, which I would try that instead of how I initially wanted to. So what I would do is in 3D view, I'll grab the corner and do a copy paste and then stretch it outward. All right, scale it in reverse. Now I'll do the same thing with this one. Copy paste, grab from here, scale in reverse. Okay, and then I will do a Boolean operation, grabbing the first model. The first mesh is the one I want to keep. The second is one I want to use to do the Boolean operation. Go to modeling mode. In favorites, I'll do a Boolean of difference between A and B and then hit accept. And then the same thing here, we'll do Boolean accept. And that gives me a perfect corner. That's super fast, super quick, but it does require creating a new mesh for nearly everything you're editing. I'm also going to go ahead and kind of do the same thing, though, here. I'm going to copy, paste this, and do a Boolean operation here. And everything is disconnected and they're touching. So all I have to do at this point is just union that. And now we have 4 meshes, 3 of which have been deleted. And if I use my project cleaning tool later, then I can probably just go and delete all those extra meshes that we have. We're going to use the angle, the rotation of this wall to get my, to get the rotation, which is, all I have to do is copy that from the current rotation of that wall. I'll go to this and then use a edit pivot, and then we're going to paste that rotation here and accept it. Now I can move it in the appropriate direction in its world space. I think it's what it's called, local space. See that wall. Boom, cool. So now we're going to go ahead and copy this again. Control Shift Save, and then go into 3D View. Copy paste, rotate it, and then move it here. I'm going to go modeling mode and convert it, accept, and then I'm going to do a polygroup edit and grab these 3 faces. Wait a minute. Let's grab this face and then move it to here. And then do edit. Okay. We're going to do push pull. And we're going to make this very tiny. Extrusion. Grab this face in here and then pull it up just a little bit. And then go down, grab this face, and then do a push pull operation. Just to create a slight indent, accept, and then we can move this whole thing downward. Let's go back to 3D space, Control Shift Save, and then just barely move this down. Cool, I'm with it. All right, that's kind of where we left off, I think. Minus all this stuff that we made right here that's gone. We'll do it again. So I need to go to Window, Details, and Detail 2, get another detail panel. This one, I want to have my cesium blocked into. And then we're going to invert our photogrammetry. Okay. Copy this over. Put it right there. Stretch it out to there. This corner to it in like so. And then make it very tiny. And then go to modeling and convert. Control Shift Save, and then move it down to there. Now I want to have one more of these. Copy paste. Let's go right. You know, I don't know if that's just like directly on. It's really hard to tell, but it may be outside of this. So what I'm going to do is use this as a reference to get like this kind of a distance and then move this out to here, stretch it a little bit, and copy paste, rotate 485, and I'm going to move that to here. Actually, I need this too, and I can just rotate it. I know all of this isn't making a lot of sense right now, probably, but let's see. Let's actually move this here, and then we'll stretch this one that way. Stretch this one that way. Save. I'm going to start saving frequently now. And let's grab both of these and move them down to here. Now, I'm not sure of the accuracy of where these things are placed, but it's looking way further off than in the photogrammetry. So I'm just going to go ahead and move it out to where it looks like it should be. And then we're going to stretch it downward into the ground. And then I'm going to convert them both. Or actually, I can just do a union. So modeling union. You know, I wish the modeling mode would just stay there. All right, I'm going to use the rotation of this mesh to get a new pivot for this mesh. So edit pivot, paste, and then we'll go into polygroup, edit, grab that face, use control to make sure that it aligns with that wall. And we'll pull this one out with just a hair. Accept. Go back into 3D view, Control Shift Save, do a copy paste, and I can invert this technique. Yeah, keep it like that for now. And that's really supposed to be like a brick or a concrete slab on top of there. And we'll save that. Remember, Control S to save. It only saves any changes you've made to existing objects. Control Shift S will save new objects. So if you create a new mesh, or let's say you duplicate a box, right? And then because it's a duplicate of that box, it's usually the exact same mesh for both boxes. And you press save, it's only going to save the fact that you duplicated the box. When you modify that box and you convert it to a new static mesh, if you press Control Save, you'll save the box, but you won't save the new static mesh because the new static mesh is an individual, like a model that needs to be also saved in your project. So Control Shift Save will save any new assets that have been generated. And I think they're stored temporarily in RAM or something. So if you don't press Control Shift Save and your program crashes or something, you might have saved the actions that you took. You might have pressed Control Save like 30 times after doing 30 actions. But if you never press Control Shift Save to save those new assets you created in that time frame, if your program crashes and you reboot it back up, it might ask you if you want to try to recover those assets. But if you can't recover the assets, you'll still have those 30 changes you made to new and old assets, but you'll be missing the assets. So you'll have empty actors in your project file. Okay, so without spending a whole lot more time on this, I want to go ahead and do a polygroup edit on this just to bring it down a hair. And that's a placeholder. Control Shift Save. That's a placeholder for an awning. Now, the other thing I want to add is like doors and stuff, but we'll get to that last. I'm just kind of getting the general shape and outline of the building. It looks like we have the exact same situation happening here, where I'm going to have to save this, and maybe just that. I don't know what we're seeing here. And Google Street View driving all the way through here. weird. No, it's not that big of a change. So I want to union this, but I want to get that transformation locked in. So copy, let's grab these two, let's do a union, accept. Let's go to edit pivot, accept 3D, and then actually no, what I need to do now is polygroup edit. Modeling, polygroup, and then we're going to grab the bottom of these and merge them together. So do a merge, accept, and then I'll do polygroup edit again. We're going to merge this and the top as well. And then we will polygroup and move this up to, let's just hit accept real quick. Turn this one off. Where's that sitting in? Okay, yeah, that's helpful. All right, so let's do a polygroup edit of this face and then move it up to this face. But underneath the ground, which is why that's happening. There we go. It's going to give you the same height. Let's accept. And let's turn off photogrammetry. It's inverted. Control Shift Save. And I believe this actually expands out. Let's turn off that span. We're not sure to where, but if I turn the photogrammetry back on, maybe I can get a good idea if I hide a couple things first. So let's see what we're dealing with. This one's going to come up to a window. Photogrammetry is so bad that it's not going to give us best placement of said window. We can probably look at the ground and get a decent idea for how far that comes. Let's say it's about right there. It's almost halfway between these two windows. It's like almost halfway. And you can't really tell. There's a window here and a window here. There's a planter here. So if we compare that to Google, we got window here, planter here. And that's where your walkway is. So that wall needs to come up to about halfway. I say halfway is like right there, but it's almost halfway. So we just, kind of get it halfway there. Or almost halfway there. And I'll be satisfied. Well, we got to remember the photogrammetry is like kind of off. The texture that's overlaid from satellite imagery is this level of detail is so bad. Save that. Let's hide the photogrammetry again and then bring that box back. That one. Yep. Perfect. And then we're going to just copy and rotate 45 degrees. I can actually just move over. 3D Snapping Helper has saved me so much time with working inside of the engine. That's not quite going to work out as expected. I think things are just a little bit off. That being said, grab this, copy, paste, rotate, and we're going to just extend it out. That. That way we can kind of take a look from here and see what this entrance is really looking like and how far, if we're too far back. So we go down and grab here so that I can make my changes here. We don't have a really big stretch going in there. I feel like my ceiling is just like slightly higher than it should be. Maybe not. Maybe not. So just winging it. It ain't got to be perfect. It's just got to be good enough to look good. And that's really all we're going for right now. And then what I'll do is, as usual, we're going to we're going to convert these and probably group edit them. And then we'll merge them. So union, let's make sure we got the correct rotation, Control Shift Save, and then edit pivots, paste, accept. Boom. Now all I have to do is go to 3D mode again, go under the ground, grab it at that node, and just bring it down. Actually, I can go into modeling mode again and just use a polygon edit to merge these faces. I need a hotkey that I can press to make that process much quicker. That's all I need. That's all I'm missing right now is like a hotkey keyboard with a lot of hotkeys on it, with little LED screens or something that I can put a picture of the merge icon on it. So I'll probably group edit and then bring that down to here. Except I'm going to poly group on this too. So I can go ahead and merge these faces. What is happening there? What in the world? I have no idea what happened there, but something definitely. Oh, okay. Let's move this down to there. Now, I should have done this merge prior to making changes. And that's where I messed up at. But fortunately, these tools are pretty easy to use if you know what you're doing. You can fix those issues very rapidly. Now those are about the same height. I have to turn this other thing back on. Let's turn on this merge we did. Not that one. There is a box. There it is. And I've got to create another box just like this one. So I'll go back into the snapping helper, grab this, paste, rotate it, modeling mode. When you're in snapping helper, you can't be in modeling mode. When you're in modeling mode, you can't use your snapping helper. I hope that the person who created the snapping helper plugin creates some sort of integration that allows for you to work on both together. Let's go into polygroup edit and fix this. Let's see. Accept. Let's merge that. Or am I going to have to rebuild this box? I'm going to rebuild. So let's cancel this, undo all of what I just did. Do selective vertex. Instead of grabbing that, I'll grab this one. Since it is a brand new box that has not been manipulated. So we'll do the same thing we just did. Yeah, here, just stretch it. Okay, on modeling mode and convert it to mesh. It's almost at mesh. That way I can polygroup edit without having to accidentally manipulate some other assets. And we need the height to be at the corner of, oops, this. And this one to sit at the corner of this. Yep. Now we'll grab this and bring it to here at least. Grab these three faces and then do a push pull. Just get it barely out there. Doesn't have to be perfect. Grab this one. I'm going to move it up to here. And then this one, we'll do push pull. See, is it the same here? Or is it different? Okay. Yeah. That's it. Push pull up to here. Let's go back over to this side and look at it. Yep, did the job. Now for this, I just need to polygroup and pull. I wonder if I can. Yeah, I'm just going to pull it out to here and save it. And then we're going to do the same thing with this one. Grab those faces and then push it into here. All right, we're not going to see that from the outside, but that's the general shape of that building. And again, I'm just looking at Google. Let's see, visibility, how to select that as startup. Okay, cool. And okay, it's a good start. Everything looks good there except for this. This needs to be pushed all the way over, I think. Why is it looking like that? Oh, okay. So what I can do here is let's convert this and polygroup edit it and just pull it out to here. 10 points if you know what song that is. I don't know what points can go to what. Oh boy, I want to play the music, honestly. So the song I was listening to is stuck in my head, and that's what the melody of the song is. It's by Division, I think I want to say. Division was the name of the group, R&B group. Okay, let's see what we're looking like. This should long. So I think realistically, what I'm going to have to do is something very similar with this that I did for you. Is that I'm going to have to just extrude them both using polygroup edit. Okay. And then we find kind of the common and delete the two. So for this mesh, we'll go into 3D mode and then copy and paste and then kind of give it the reverse extrusion. And then we grab this here, we do a copy paste and give it a reverse extrusion. Right? Theoretically, that should do the trick. But I guess there's only one way to find out. So what I would do is I would go tool, no, sorry, modeling Boolean, right? And then I'll do the same thing here. Yeah, Boolean. And quite honestly, I could probably get away with just deleting this one. All right, so instead of doing that Boolean there, I'm going to polygroup this and stretch it out just a little more. And then I'm going to just stretch this one like so. And then we'll Boolean that. So modeling, Boolean, accept. And that gives us a solid corner party. Oh my goodness, it's beautiful. Gorge. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. Wait, what is that wall? Oh, okay. Gorgeous. It's done. It's so good. All right. Just for reference, here's our building again. And I'll split the screen just in case I'm giving y'all like a kind of a hard time seeing what's happening. I'll split the screen. I just hate working in small spaces, so I got 4 screens hooked up. This is what we just created. All right, that's the same thing. All right, so it's kind of, it's coming along. And then we look at this corner. It's got a little wall right there. So if I invert our photogrammetry, this will kind of tell us where that wall is, but it's such horrible quality. I don't care so much about that wall right now. The only reason why I would care about that wall, though, is because it shares the texture with the building, and it's easy to just kind of go ahead and knock it out, get it out of the way. But for reference, like this building right here, Southwest Tennessee Community College, I'm not sure exactly which building that is. Maybe it's a science building or something. I have no idea. Let's go in map view. Let me split this a little. Oh, there's that building right there. All right, so that's what it looks like here. And then if I go into street view, that's what it looks like here. So if I turn the photogrammetry off and maybe change my sun direction, let's update on dynamic, ultra dynamic sky, and see if we can get better lighting. The problem is we're using Where's the sun at? It's like right over this building. I mean, technically, I think it would kind of be in the same spot, but something's definitely off on sun position. So let's get down to where this Google car is. It's right in the middle of this intersection. And it's heading in that direction. So we're talking about, it's about right here. If I look up, our sun position is way off. And that's a problem. That's really important, I think. Let's go into field of view. I mean, I don't think it's important. I know it is. So 90, something's off on our sun position, and maybe we can, excuse me, change the, I don't think I can drag and do it. Can I? Nope, that's not going to help. All right, so let's put this at 1,000,000. What? No. All right, so I don't think that makes a difference. I think it's geolocated. So something about my geolocation in Cesium georeference, the latitude, longitude, something is off. So let's copy this. Okay, longitude. Yeah, dude, I don't know. I don't know. Oh, I'm editing. I'm changing the wrong thing. Shit. Changing the wrong thing. So let's just undo all of that. Great. Cesium. Why you got to do that to me, Cesium? I don't think it matters because I didn't save any of those changes. I was editing Cesium and not ultradynamic sky, and I moved the whole one. Oops. Yeah. Buddy, buddy, buddy. Isn't that something? All right. Let's go back on our other building real quick and just see how much we maybe forgot to save. There's enough there, and there's some stuff that's unloaded. So let's go and see. It's not loaded. Yeah, there's that. Okay. We got a little bit that we forgot to save. No big. No big. Hair in the mouth. Let's try this again. So what I want to do is match the sun and sky location, the location of the sky and stuff, right? And if you look here, it's above the tree, but it's more, I don't know. I could be wrong. I could be very wrong. Just looks a little bit off. But here, the sun is giving us a very short shadow. Why is this important? Because if we do a light study, we're talking about doing a light study, we're going to have to figure out that sun position. So let's go to ultradynamic sky. Change the time of day. And that sun is technically hitting these poles. I'm going to put another pole right about here just to try to simulate. Oops, wrong button. The exact same shadow. Turn this on. Rotator about right there. And now let's look at our shadows here. They're very short, which does tell me, let me go ahead and save this. Whoops. That our sun is not in the correct position. And this will help when doing light studies for any architectural renderings, right? So let's say it's about right there. Let's assume it's about right here. That tells me that this would be a little further back here. Okay. And latitude gradient position. I don't know what that means. Latitude. So let's copy this so we can always go back to it. Let's give it really short shadows. 1 to 2. And that feels a little more accurate. It doesn't got to be perfect, but it needs to be close enough. And the location of the sun here is going to help us get more like realistic looking lighting. I mean, hey, look, honestly, aside from exposure being updated in Unreal Engine, I'll say it's pretty damn close. Pretty damn close. The sky looks about the same too, which is awesome. So awesome. Yeah, although we have a different light pole right here, and I'm just going to delete this one. Actually, I'm just going to go ahead and move this one over first and share those positions. So let's go and copy the location. And I'm going to paste it in this one. Great. And then turn it off. Grab this one and delete it. Let's back on. All right. Correct light. That, you know, this one's going to be a different pole too. I'm going to go ahead and shift, Control Shift save that. We just lost a bunch of edits. It's all good. No biggie. But we do have a more accurate like sun position. And then what I got to do is work on the color of my materials. Easy edits. This one's a little like too yellow. Anyways, what I wanted to show before I got into this tangent on the sun position, all this other information, is when you look at this building, this is from 2021. So see more details. Let's go to 2023. And you can see from 2021, Let me move this way a little bit. Let me go back to 2020. 2020. You see how it's all red? That's the original color that I did have it. And then I realized, oh wait, I don't know what that M means. That was the original color. And I don't have it red in here because I realized that I was not on 2025 where they updated the color. So for the most part, I've got this color almost correct. I can actually go ahead and make changes to this material real quick. So let's double click on this material and let's double click on this one. Also, see if we can. I think that dark blue, the dark brick is pretty good. I gotta change the tint of this one though to bring some to make it a little white. Man, that little simple change really did the trick, I think. Dark brick though, we can make a little modification and make it a little less dark. And I'd say that's good enough. Control, Shift, Save, and close that out. All right, you see where I'm going here? You see how this all looks the same? All right, I've got a couple things that, some details that aren't here. That's what it is. Details that are missing, but the color is accurate. And it's looking splendid. So that's what we're going for. With these other buildings, we're trying to get to the highest level of detail without adding too much detail. I'll go to engine scalability. We're going to set this to, let's go epic instead of cinematic. And you see a little bit better shaders and glass and stuff. So here is that. Little green tint to the window. Well, I'll say it's pretty much the same. I wonder if we can Google Street View camera, what, field of view? The FOV is 360 degrees. I know it's not helpful, blah, blah, blah. Nobody has the answer. Okay. Nobody has the answer. And maybe someone does have the answer. It's a 360-degree video. It says it's 90 degrees. I don't think that that's what it is. Street View Ready Pro Grade specifications, blah, 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 blah. Google Street View, focal length. Does anybody know? It's using 360 degrees. You need a camera that does that apart from building a rig to do blah, blah, blah. Nobody's answering the question. Let's find the answer to this question. (135-degree contiguous vertical field of view). I don't think that works. It's not checking out. The math ain't mathin'. 127, 90, 53, 28, 14. 127. So let's see if we can get a similar view here. We're right there in the kind of in a turning lane. Let's bring the camera down to about there. And yeah, that's about where it is. 1, 2, 3. So maybe over a little this way. And then, we're talking, this is a 360 camera, but the field of view is so weird because it's a 360 camera, right? So we can't quite match I mean, damn, that's pretty close. So maybe it is 90 degrees. So the field of view is set to 90 right now, and that's pretty close. And I'll take it. I guess it is. I think it depends on where the camera's placed. I think that's all. See, your camera's got to be placed down at the level of the top of a car because that's where the camera on the Google Street car is mounted at the top of a car. And this is probably a little bit, this looks a little high here. It looks like it's a pretty big SUV because the top of that car looks a lot lower down than where this camera is sitting. Some Google Street cars, their cameras might be different. It's probably the same camera, but the height of the mount might be slightly different depending on the car that's driving around. I've seen a couple cars, a couple Google Street View cars driving around the city. Okay, this is pretty good. So I want to actually bookmark this location, this. Damn, I mean, that's almost identical. I'm really proud of this. So let me go to bookmarks. And I'm going to bookmark this as number 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, cool. I don't remember what the point of that was, but to be able to see the context of this in Unreal Engine and compare it side by side. Oh, it gets my guts all tingly. Because I made this. And I didn't go use a LiDAR camera to scan it. And unlike other previous buildings that I've done, this is all done as directly inside of the engine. Yeah, well, I'm really kind of sad that we just had 2 crashes because of Cesium. I'm really upset at Cesium right now. It's all good, Cesium. I hope that you do not cause me any more issues. Let's crush this real quick. All right, so I'm gonna have to pull this back off the screen because I can't do this split screen stuff. I genuinely, so anxious, genuinely need this screen space. Modeling, polygroup edit, and let's do some merges. Let's turn this accept and turn this off. And then merge, yeah. And then I thought we had issues with this. Did we not? Or did we fix that already? Must have. Damn, I don't know what I did. I have no idea. Well, fortunately, whatever it was that I messed up earlier is now an easy fix. Merge and save. Let's see if there's anything else that needs to be edited. No, all that looks solid. We need to edit our pivot. That's something that I didn't do. So go here, edit pivot. Now these pivots match their orientation, their local orientation, and it's easier for me to make manipulations to the. So I can go in here and do a copy paste. We're going to convert that first to a new static mesh. Control Shift Save, rotate, set it to 45 degrees, and then do it again. And then we're going to move it here. All right, all right, all right. We'll go to modeling and group edit. And then we're going to bring this to there. And bring the backside, the booty to right there. Okay, perfect. And give it a little extrusion with the push-pull tool. Let's get up close and personal. And remember, it doesn't have to be something huge, just got to be big enough. Let me go back to my site. Anybody ever played Black Site Area 51? Every time I say site, I think of that game forever ago. Okay. Now let's pull this up and match it. Let me accept and save that. Something's not loaded and it should be. So this, it's that. There it is. File go. Okay. Right group edit, grab the top and move it up. And then grab the bottom and move it up. So, wait, nope. Push pull. So here. Let's go and zoom in so we can double check. Nope. Incorrect. Okay. I think we need to move this whole thing. We can actually just grab these edges and move them down. Okay. And then we grab these. And then we push pull down to here. So let's do push pull. And then we'll grab that inside face. And then just push it up to here. And that should be perfect. Perfect. Got a slight little angle. I don't know if you can really see that. There's a little angle here. And then a little minor detail there. That's all we needed. And now we have to redo this. So let's convert those two. Let's do it in polygroup edit. Stretch it all the way out. Awesome. And same thing here. Bring this all the way out. Okay, so I think I want to move that back actually. And then 3D view. we copy paste and modify like so. Doesn't matter how big it is. Copy paste. Do the same thing here. And what we're doing is a Boolean operation. So modeling, Boolean, except, same thing here. And we got our perfect corner again, and we fixed our problem. This is the second time we've had to do this during the stream, and that's okay. It's a learning process for everybody, and I hope that this helps anybody that's going to tackle a similar problem later. That was pretty much all we had to do for this building, and we will work on the barrier, like the brick fence later. So if I wanted to, I could go ahead and start throwing textures on some of this just to get a good look and feel. Now, why these are sitting so low, I think it's because if I look at this from the side, this whole model kind of sits down underneath everything. Right? Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this material here, which is a dark metal. I'm going to apply it to these. And we're going to do our red brick. It's darker red brick wall. And this material, we may need to adjust the UV. Oops. I could just hit undo. We may need to adjust some UVs. We will most likely need to adjust some UVs. And I think the UVs are at 250. Let's go ahead and just apply that real quick. Let's figure out what's happening here. Is this something that I can delete? Oh, yeah. So I will, let's see how I want to do this. I'm going to copy and paste this and do a Boolean here so that they're not overlapping. And this is actually supposed to be a brick. So let's put the brick to those. Right? We go edit materials and delete this one. Edit materials. Set it. Let's copy and paste this and Boolean. Okay, now I don't know why. Okay, I know why it's there. Like, it's unfortunate that I can't do a projection to all of these all at the same time. So we're going to do project UVs, change this from plane to box. We're going to set it to 250 by 250 by 250. And then actually we're going to do auto align fit first, and then 250, 250, 250. I'm going to right click and copy that, or shift right mouse button and then accept. All right, and then doing the rest of these meshes should be easy. Let's project UVs, auto align and then shift paste and insert. Looks like they're off. So let's do project UVs, auto align, shift paste, and then rotate this 45 degrees. There you go. Project UVs, auto align, shift paste, and just repeat the process. So you check some of the corners of these other walls to make sure we're all good and golden. So if anything is slightly off, it'll be easy to notice, but we should be good. Auto line, shift paste, and we have to rotate this one. Accept. Okay. Now, there's a much easier way to do all this, but again, we're accomplishing this by using Unreal Engine's built-in modeling tools, and we're not going to external software to do UV mapping or any of that other stuff. And it gets me the results that I'm looking for almost instantly. If you're in a music production or know anything about music production, this is why I loved Fruity Loops FL Studio, and because you get the same experience as one of their slogans was, it's the fastest way from your mind to the speakers or something like that. I don't know. I'm going to need to convert this one and then do a polygon edit and create that seam. Oh, that's why. That's why. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so copy paste. Why did, yeah, because it was slightly off. That's why. Ooh. That's why it was slightly off. Something about it was slightly off. I think I could be wrong. I don't remember, but it looks like that was the case. But we fixed that seam right there, kind of. Maybe this one's one of them's upside down or something. I don't know. That's not a big problem right now. The whole point is we wanted to kind of get this look and feel right here fairly quickly. Then we can deal with this part later. I'm going to save that. And then all we have to do now is what I am going to do. We don't have to do this, but this is just something that I want to do to create a more seamless look and see what the fidelity of the brick texture is going to be like when we create a duplicate of this outline and combine it all. First, we need to go ahead and add this brick texture to this. And project those UVs. Let's make sure this one, yep, that was good too. Check UVs. All right, everything looks good. All the I can't even talk. All the UVs are projected in the appropriate directions. Now, I wanted to do that first so that I can then take these meshes and create a duplicate and then make a union out of those duplicates. And let's see, once we got everything selected, we can control, copy, paste, and then union, accept, and then hide that merge. We're going to take all of these meshes and we're going to unload them. We're going to set them to visibility, hide selected as startup, and then we're going to hide them. We're going to do the same thing with this one. Hide it, visibility, hide selected as startup. And then we're going to take our merge and turn that back on, make sure we didn't miss anything. And I think we did miss one thing. So let's go back. Let's copy, paste this. And right click, hide one, that's startup. Turn our merge on and let's project those UVs onto this really quick. On our line to 50. And make sure they're facing the correct way. Accept, and then we will union those, even though we just unioned already. Now I will go into polygroup edit. We're going to do that projection again. Project UVs, auto align, 50. Okay, and then let's rotate it and check surrounding the entire thing, and it should now be seamless. And what I would normally do here is I'll accept that. I'll go to edit materials, and then we're going to make this brush size really small. Actually, no, before I do that, I'm going to polygroup edit. We will now do submerging. So that's good. That's needs to be merged. That's good. These three need to be merged. So, all right, now I'll do the same thing on top. And then we'll simplify by groups. Maybe we only need to do this selection first. So those to this side, merge, and then do the interior ones. Oh, it's might not look fun, but damn, is it fun to me. Like the final product is really cool. All right, now the bottom. And we're only doing everything that is physically connected, which on the bottom happens to be a closed loop all the way around the building. Should all be one face. And let's merge. Let's accept and control shift save before we have any unfortunate crashes. Okay. Now what I'll do is I'll go to polygroup edit, simplify by groups, accept, edit materials, and we're going to delete this material first. Then we're going to add another material. We're going to select all these top triangles. Usually it's 2 per face. In that case, it's 3 because it's a weird cut in the corner. And then we will select active material 1 and then assign active material accept. Now, real quick, I want to turn these off. Hide them. And I'm going to go to polygroup edit again, just to make sure these are good. That's a really interesting situation there. So I'm going to take this, and that, and the edit material option. So we need to make the smaller angle filtered brush. Make sure we don't have anything else randomly accidentally selected. And I'm right up on the microphone. Okay, and then we'll assign this to material 1, which is none. Accept. All right, that looks pretty damn good to me. All right, then I'll go here and just copy whatever this material is I used here, which is ceiling plaster, even though that's probably, yeah, probably not the appropriate material, but it looks good enough. We can go here and then go into edit materials and then paste that there. What is this? And then accept. Now save. Let's cut this off. Hell, I don't know what pieces I needed to undo. I think there's one. Trial and error. Let's turn it all on and off. There it is. This one. When I find them, what I'll do. Oh, there's the ceiling, rooftop. Ceiling, rooftop. And I think that's it. What I'll do is I'll put all of this in a folder. So grab the building outline, grab the rooftop. There should be a floor somewhere. Let me turn that rooftop off. Boolean for 1. See if we can find that floor. Unless we had a crash when that happened. Let me turn this on. So, which is probably the case. I think that's what happened. We had a crash. So copy that down. So line for 1. Just move this down to the ground. About right there. About right there. Yeah. That's good. We're going to do a building for 1. I'm going to turn that on. I'm going to grab all of these that are turned off and put it in a folder and say hidden. Maybe group them together. So put in a folder, hidden, find that hidden folder real quick. And group those items. Okay. What is this? Oh, it's a group actor. Now, all of these we're going to put into static meshes, gray boxing, and then you can't see what I'm doing. I'm just talking out loud so that you know what I'm doing. Data, we're going to put the player actors into data folder. And then spline actor we'll put into data as well. For now, close Cesium, Control Shift save so that we don't have any issues. Okay. Yo, I think that's pretty solid. So let me turn off static meshes and then let me turn on hidden. And that should be everything that's in the hidden folder, right? So let me ungroup this. Shift group, control group, shift group, shift group. There it is. All right, what do we got? 1, 2 items. Oh, I hit the floor. Delete it. Cool. Yeah, everything that was hidden is appropriately hidden. Turn static meshes back on. And, with some minor changes, we can get this looking exactly how we want to. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and delete this. And we're just going to, we'll just keep it like that for now. I think. Yeah. And that's the start of getting your building. Because I'm streaming, I'm talking, and I'm just like trying to make this stream appropriate. Not make the stream appropriate, but make this process streaming appropriate to where you can kind of understand what I'm doing. Probably took me a lot longer to accomplish that than maybe it would have. Yeah. So this is kind of what we got. Let's try to get back to this position. It's weird because I got the screen kind of like halfway there. And I had to make one more change, it seems. So let's go into photogrammetry, Cesium, and make an inversion real quick. I'm going to grab this and copy it here. I think we need to do a 90-degree turn. Move it here. Let's go to transform. And then just use control to transform it where I want it. And then all we have to do is scale it. Actually, I don't think I need to scale it that way. I think I just need to scale it this way. And it's the exact same awning style. So let's get a good view from here. Looks like our field of view has kind of slightly changed because we're far enough away from this one. This all it is. Let's invert that photogrammetry one more time. And there we have it. I mean, that looks pretty good. I would say this brick probably needs to be just slightly bigger, taller. That we'll be able to determine, I guess, when we get around to adding windows. Let's go into modeling, favorites, V's, auto fit, And then let's do 250. Let's make sure it's aligned appropriately. Yeah, looks good. Accept. And then I want to kind of bring it up just a hair. Another cool thing I could do with this is this sharing the same model? Merge FB75. It is. So I need to convert it, accept, go into polygroup editor, and then let's merge these faces. These merge these. And I think that's the only ones that need to be merged. And then I'll grab these lines here and here. And we're going to lift those up just a hair. So go to polygroup, edit, and then add insert edge. See if we can insert one from here. We can. Accept. Yeah, and then recalculate the normals. Simplify by group. And triangulate. I don't know. Accept. Yeah, there we go. See that sharp edge right there? I think that's, yeah, that's what we're looking for. That's what you needed. Oh, let's see here. That's pretty good. We want to add that little minor detail there because that's how like rain flows off the thing. Anyways, unnecessary details, but again, this is just me experimenting with Engine's built-in editor tools and understanding exactly how I want this to look and feel. Understanding how to do other buildings with greater detail. And this doesn't go all the way up to the wall, so out just a hair and stretch it. Control-Shift save. And again, like when you're Street View, can I play from here? It's not controller. Yeah, so when you're in Street View, there's a window right there. What's going on with these? Oh, okay. I need to have those other actors hidden in game. So let me go into that hidden folder. Hidden. And SPAT, not spatially loaded. Actors hidden in game. Let's go into static meshes, gray boxing. Turn off spatially loaded. Yeah, that tends to be an issue sometimes. I mean, it works. It does actually work really good if I use it, but I have no desire to use spatially loaded actors at this time. Put this in gray boxing and then Control-Shift save. And then let's go like from here. We're not expecting there. Yep, that looks pretty good. That's a good fit. There's supposed to be a gate right here. I think it may need to be a little bit wider so maybe two people can walk through it. But that is way too tall. The grass is supposed to be up a little bit though, so yeah, that is way too tall. And I think it should come up to like a shoulder. Yeah, where my Google thing go? The hell? Oh, okay. I thought that was on the other monitor. I forgot. So it comes up to about titty height. And this is as tall as our girl. So let's just move this down to about right there. And then play from here. Yeah, a little bit low. Yeah. Let's see. Let's see. Play from here. Yeah. Yeah, it's about right. It's about right. Yeah. All right. So that's why it's good to like do a little quick play test, see where things are. Uh, yeah. Oh, not bad. And look at some of the details here. And that just gets the start of the, you know, this is gray boxing with textures. And if I can get every building looking something like this with just a silhouette, and then I can add some accurate doors and windows, we're like, fuck, 70% there. I don't need an interior, but the goal is for me to wake up in 4 hours from now, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, maybe 10, get on here and go after 10 buildings tomorrow. And if I can do 10 buildings a day, gray boxed at that detail, where it's where it's got a silhouette and textures, and it's a rooftop, 10 buildings a day, I can knock out a lot of buildings in a week and get a whole block. And that's essentially what's happened here. Let me hit the tilde key and move in my photogrammetry, my Google Earth view. And then go back to street view here. Back a little. Bag it all down, dump it. All right. So let's bring this over here. And tilde. Yeah. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh, look at your boy. Your boy, you killing it. Yeah, baby. That looks really good. I'm very satisfied, very much satisfied. Like, this is so cool to see. Let me zoom out a little bit here. Give y'all some more screen space there, kind of zoom in. That's good enough, I guess. We'll just move back. WS, no S. Oh, we got a big tree. I want to put a big tree in there. We will deal with that in a minute. Okay, so we are standing in the turning lane, or next to the turning lane. Let's see, 1, 2, this is next to the turning lane. This is turning lane. Damn, it's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lanes. Let me see what that looks like real quick. 6 lanes. Let's change this lanes and oh, that's not that bad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there is a turning lane, but this needs to be here. And I don't feel like dealing with it. But look at that shit, y'all. Man, it looks so good. Look at man. I'm just like a fanboy of my own work. Because this learning this stuff has been a serious process. It has been a crazy process. Um, this is more. Right lane must turn right. I bet we do have that sign. Okay, so photogrammetry still loaded in. Yeah. Sorry if I see it, I gotta do it. It's gonna bug me. I don't. All right. Southwest Tennessee Community College. This is University of Tennessee building right here, I think. What building is this? University of Tennessee Health Science Center. Something right here, and I think it's cesium, is giving me weird collisions. Yeah, I think it's cesium. Something with cesium is like out of place right there. So when you have an item in your level and it's unloaded, it's hidden, but it's still like spatially in the game, the collision box will be generated for it, and you're gonna run into invisible stuff. I had to learn that the hard way when I was driving a car around levels before, and I was running into stuff. These look really good. Now I want to go and start adding more details to this building. Let's go here. Performance is fantastic. When you're standing really far back away from this, it looks like you're way bigger than those doors. Looks like those doors are like way too tiny. And then you get up on the doors and you realize they're actually the right size. Now, I don't know what I'm going to do about this yet. I think that is the correct height. I'm going to have to go there in person and see, measure it maybe. There's a lot that I need to do to this building, though. This is Southwest Tennessee Community College building. I don't know what building it is. University of Tennessee Health Science Center. This, I don't know what building that is. It's some cancer center. Let me delete. Let me take those billboards off. Static meshes. That's Domino's Pizza right here. And let me tilt it out of here and just go street view, 3D view. I'm really excited about doing this building too. So you have Southwest Tennessee Community College Nursing, Natural Sciences, and Biotechnology building, and then Domino's. And I didn't realize there's two billboards. So Domino's. Yep, looks pretty accurate. Man, see, like that's what I love is this playtesting is just a really fun way to see what I created and how spatially accurate it is. Let's see if we have any collisions. I don't know what that collision is then. Something is up with the collision on the front of that UT building. This still needs to be built out. But the fact that I can just build it and then get into the engine and play it. I used to develop a game on CryEngine, which was really fun, and that was the closest thing that I ever had to real time, like being able to see my meshes and designs in real time. This feels like it needs. Oh, yeah, I got a mesh, some kind of mesh that's hanging me up right there. I think it's the Google. Excuse me. I did not realize that we had a mesh in here that was the wrong way. Let's see if we can fix that. 250, right? So let's go to modeling, favorites, project UVs, auto fit 250. And let's see what's happening here. I think I need to rotate it this way. See if we have any more discrepancies. Discrepancy. Yeah, we got plenty of discrepancies. Discrepancies. All right. Except, damn, I don't feel like doing all that. But I can modify just these UVs. So let's go to UVs, transform. Can I not do individual UVs? Edit UVCs, maybe? Weird. So I want one here. To here. And one. Where is the other one at? Where the other one at? Where the other one at? Wow. Man, where is it? Actually. There it is. I need one here. And can I add one there? It's okay. Heck no. Ain't no way. I don't know. We will maybe deal with that at different time. Something definitely on this. So UV editor, layout UVs, edit UVCs, transform UVs. Can I? Is it gonna? Yeah, that worked. So something's on this. Let me turn this off. And I think it's because I need a scene right here. Something's like way messed up with this. UV scenes. I can't really add anything there. Out here. Oh yeah, this whole thing is jacked up from the flow up, kind of toe up. Oh, screw it. Okay. Very last thing I need to do is let's see what this looks like from the rooftop. Quick little fun project. It's white, so I'm going to use the same material, roof vinyl that I've created. And we're going to put it out here. And we are going to paste it. We're going to go into transform UVs. I got a notepad somewhere that has that information on it. Notepad. And 500, 500, 3,500, right? Right. Accept, transform UVs. Oops. Let's go to project UVs, auto fit align, 500, 500, 3,500. Let's rotate this bad boy. And turn this off. And we can eyeball this. It doesn't have to be perfect. We'll just eyeball it. And up to me. Yep. Save. Even though it actually probably goes the long way. But it's cool. That's good enough. As long as it looks good from like the rooftop up or from up here, bird's eye view. It's like that's really the point. I don't need to have it perfect up close. Share my post, approve your post, blah, blah, blah. Likes my post, blah, blah, blah. Checking Facebook messages before I end this live stream. Trying to see if I'm live on Facebook right now, but I should be. And a few people have tuned in. 8 people on Facebook, which is awesome. It's not a million, not 1,000, not 100,000. It's 1 o'clock. And people are watching my shit on Facebook, which is cool. Let's check out YouTube. So I don't know that I'm connected with anybody that does this type of work. It's 1 o'clock. Facebook. Just shut up. Cool. Hopefully I can get better audio set up this week. I've got my compressor, EQ, everything set up here, and my audio just it could be the room. The room is not built for recording yet. It's not soundproofed. Very happy with how this has turned out so far. Let me go ahead and add this material to these meshes. And then we add this material, this kind of sealant plaster stuff to this mesh. I think everything is 250, so I might need to go and modify this to also be 250. Sure. Transform you, oops. Project UVs, auto line fit, and then we'll go 250. And cool. Gives us a little texture. Doesn't need to be perfect. The only thing I don't like is how these walls, we can see the repeating texture in the what is it called? PBR material. So the tiling and the PBR material, I'm not a big fan of, but this shit works. It does what we need it to do. And I'm very satisfied with how that looks. Now let's go into material quality epic, and then let's also do scalability cinematic. And let's turn on or off if it's already on post-processing. And then if I play from here, will the post-processing show up? I think it does. Honestly, I kind of want to delete the post-processing altogether. So for now, I can't hide post-processing in game. So we're just going to delete it. Rig module. Those benches look really small. All right, post-processing deleted. The scene looks brighter. We're also in cinematic scalability. So the performance is going to be a little bit worse. Hardly noticeable. But you can see the difference in how the sunlight hits this metal. And that's what I was going for. I wanted to kind of have that metallic look to where it kind of glows a little bit and reflects off of the materials that are next to it. Walking around with this person helps me give it perspective, like scale. Helps it feel a little real. See the difference in the material? It's kind of light brick, dark brick. So yeah, tomorrow my goal is to, let's walk and count, is to do, kind of finish up this building a little bit. I'm probably not going to do any windows or doors yet. I'm going to just go around and do silhouettes. This is Sun Studio. So I'm going to do Sun Studio. Maybe not that portion of the building that's kind of attached to it. It's like warehousing. I'm going to do Sun Studio. Southwest Tennessee Community College Science Building. Dominoes. And I might actually try to finish this whole block. So you got Dominoes. I know there's a garage over here with some antique cars in it, I think. I remember Odessa used to be over here somewhere. Maybe it was like right over there. It's a nightclub. Electro City used to do some events in there. So I'm going to do probably that whole block of buildings right there tomorrow. Again, probably without doors and windows. So all of this. I bring the landscape up right there. Start some landscaping. All of these facades. And we'll call that we'll call it a day. Well, today, we'll do that today. Oh, what the heck did I just... Shoot. Again, that photogrammetry is showing up right there. So we're going to say that's... Oh. It's right there. The ground? I have no idea. You know what I just noticed? The photogrammetry that I have that's not in Cesium actually has cars in, so that had to be locally scanned data. So what is that? Let's see how many buildings this is. Or how many. So that one we just kind of did. So let's say 1, 2, we'll count these as 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's a big one. So we'll count that as 8. And we'll maybe do this one too. 9. Can we do that one too? 10. Can we get this far down? 10. Maybe. So if you want to learn more about this project and see some more interesting content aside from what I'm building here for Memphis Metas, you can go to Memphis. You can go to reddit.com/r/Memphis Metaverse, or you can go to patreon.com/c/Memphis Metas. I believe those two are right. So 10 buildings is going to be my goal, and I think I can accomplish that. It's Monday, so no, it's Sunday. Sunday fun day. And I'm going to shoot for nailing down 1 building per 30 minutes. So 5 hours. That's doable. It's a lot of buildings. It would be really cool if, like, 2 years from now, we had all the way from here and then did, the goal would be to do like a block at a time and then get some other people to contribute. But if I start doing projects based around this whole concept, and I can get architects and city planners and developers on board, I think this whole process would be a lot easier. Two minutes, 2 hours, 4 minutes, 46 seconds. I've been live. Thanks for watching, y'all. I hope y'all are enjoying the process of this. Let me know if there's a building in the downtown Memphis area that you really want to see created. Drop a message, a comment, anything, and let me know. Like, yo, I really want to see FedEx Forum. Yo, I really want to. If I can get a couple comments and let's say two or three people co-sign on a building, I might prioritize it. Now we got some reflections in there. Oh boy, that baby looking good. Real quick, I'm gonna see if I can play from inside. Let's go here. Fuck me sideways and call me Lucy. That was my buddy's favorite quote when we were growing up, just being stupid kids together. And ironically, he has a daughter named Lucy now. He used to say that shit so much that I guess the name stuck with him or something. Oh man, this is so beautiful. It's so beautiful. Oh my gosh. All I gotta say is, who am I? Can I walk through there? Oh snap. Why don't we have a collision on that? I deleted the class. I don't know why we don't have collision on that. That's weird. Let me see what it looks like from the inside of this building, which there's absolutely nothing in there. That's why the windows are tinted so dark. No! Can I... What did I click on? That's so weird. That's kind of cool though, actually. Oh, okay. There's a blocking volume there because there used to be a building here, and the what is it? The collision never updated. So if I can press play from here, maybe I can fall through the floor and no. Oh man. Let's try from here. But it's not going to put me close enough. I'll play from the door. Oh, heck no. Don't make fun of my interior. I have no plans to do anything with it because nobody's going to be able to go. If Southwest Tennessee Community College wants to hire me to do the interior, I will. But they're going to have to pay some good money for me to go and do LiDAR scans, take pictures, model it, and then I can give them a executable or Unreal Engine project file or 3D model so they can do things with it. I don't know what they would do with it, but or I can create videos and experiences and content to promote programs for Southwest Tennessee Community College. As with any other business around Memphis, if any business wants to hire me to do the interior of their business, I will absolutely do the interior and put it in the game. So it's two things. It's a digital twin and it's a video game. The digital twin is really designed for running simulations. Oh, look, there's airplane. I wonder if you can see that on YouTube and Facebook. Can y'all see that airplane? I think it's moving too slow. Or no, actually, it's probably moving just fast enough. Is there another one somewhere? Oh, so simulations, digital twin. If I wanted to test street traffic and there's a park being developed and we wanted to create a road through that park and we wanted to see how that road would impact like population or emissions or something, you can run those simulations in the real environment and be able to make more informed decisions that could potentially save billions of millions or whatever of dollars and time. We call it architectural, like we call it 5D, right? There's 3D, which is like your model. There's 4D, which is technically it's what was 4D? I think 4D was time to show like past, present, future. I don't remember what 5D was, but there is something 5D like. So let's invert this. Let's turn it off. Oh, wait, but that's just for the buildings. Oh, all right. So you go down from this level of detail. Everything looks terrible. But when you do this, there's downtown Memphis for you. It's really cool. Man, dude, look at that shit. So check what I'm looking at. It's up on my committee. Before, when I had a GTX, when I had two GTX 2080 Ti's plugged into this thing running SOI, because Unreal Engine only uses one GPU in the editor, I could only use 11 gigs of VRAM, and this would not load Cesium really well. I could not zoom out this far and still have those tiles loaded. I'm running on 20, 30, 34 gig, I don't know, 20, 34 gigs VRAM. And those problems, let's just say they don't exist anymore at all. Like the amount of information that's loaded right now blows my mind because I constantly ran out of VRAM when using Cesium and anything else before I upgraded my GPU. And everybody that's in architecture who has seen this project, their mind gets blown too, which tells me that they haven't seen anything like this. Let me go. Let's close this, and I'm going to showcase like one or two projects. Whoever is watching me right now, can you comment so I can see where you are, Facebook or YouTube? Um, I want to open a few projects to show you the quality of what I'll be doing. Yeah, man, I'm building this joint. It's kind of insane, actually. Reginald, is that you? Look at the, all right, so project number one. This is going to be the quality of grass. Finding good quality grass has been pretty hard. I have one, I don't know how long this is going to take to load, but it's called a Big Trees Forest Pack. In the real project, I think I may use these assets, but you got to have a pretty beefy graphics card in order to get the level of quality that's going to come from this. I don't know if y'all could hear it, but my computer just sounds like a spaceship trying to take off right now or something. Damn. While this is loading, it's compiling thousands of graphic shaders for these trees. And my previous computer, which is now my son's, who's I just upgraded, um, he has my GPUs in his computer now. Let me, can I dock Cesium? Big mountain landscape, forest, field, trees, meadow, forest, and meadow. I think that's the big one. And it's interesting because I'm also using OBS to stream this to Facebook and YouTube at the same time. And everything's running really good. Not biting my lip. Everything's running really good while I'm streaming and and using this GPU like crazy. All right, shaders are compiling very rapidly. Everything looks terrible until it doesn't. And I'm going to see if we can handle cinematic. So while it's looking all choppy and stuff, it's loading. And once it's done loading, it won't look so choppy. 180 shaders left, 90, 50. We're already on cinematic scalability, and I think maybe it just finished loading. Let's check. So while I'm in OBS, it might not perform extremely well. But if I go into settings, change the scalability to, let's say, epic, see how much better performance we get if we get a performance boost. Yeah, this is crazy work. All I can say is my GPU before could not handle something this crazy. I just wonder if I have enough VRAM to compile this into a playable demo so that I'm not running all this in the engine. Again, I'm streaming too, so the performance is going to be capped because I'm streaming. Let's bring it down again to high. Let's go to game mode. I mean, still, that's pretty damn good. That's a lot of trees, bro. Look at all of those trees. I know they use some procedural generation to accomplish this, but that's impressive. It's really impressive. Really impressive. I mean, this is a lot of just, this is some kit bashing to make it not kit bashing, but skate bashing, landscape bashing, putting a bunch of landscape stuff together to make it look good from like a certain point of view, right? Which it does look really good. So here's what I'll do. I'll change the field of view to something. Damn, that's crazy. Crazy work. Yeah, that's wild. I'm just gonna leave it at that and take this back to the movie, save it, close it. That's crazy. Crazy. All right, I think I'm done. Done for the night, or done for the morning. I'm gonna go grab a drink and I'm gonna call it a night. I think there's something in this video that y'all could learn. Anybody that's followed me who's into this type of stuff, try and figure out how to do it for yourself. You can learn something, one thing or two. But I just really did this for fun. Also to test my microphone. I'm gonna go back and listen to it while I do work later today, so that when I have meetings this week, I'll know my microphone works real good and what I need to do to optimize that. And I'll know how good my streaming quality is. While I'm using a webcam, Unreal Engine, streaming to YouTube and Facebook all at the same time. and I'm really impressed at the performance. I'm really just trying to push this machine to see what I need to upgrade, if at all. Anyways, have a good morning. Peace. Happy Monday.